APING Altcoins video 2. Today I'm going to dedicate this stream to Ethereum. Primarily, the merge is 2 weeks out. We have a monthly close today, and I think it's important to keep an eye on this one. September is typically called Rectember. It's usually a very bloody month for crypto. However, we have the merge in the middle of the month, which there's a lot of hype surrounding that, which has something to do with my analysis today. So I'm going to kind of go over a trade I took last night, and also do a little bit of there'll be a little bit of a educational piece on agri-trade and looking at perpetuals and spot buying. So ultimately I woke up in the middle of the night and, well, here, let's backtrack. We'll zoom out just a little bit. Typically, when you see so this is a falling wedge, which is a bullish pattern, right? So typically what you would want to see is it would break out, back test, and then have some degree of continuation, right? And, you could target here and even, at the top of the wedge. Now, when we zoom in here, I saw a couple different things that made me want to take a short trade. First of all, we had this bearish butterfly play out. Okay, so it's a harmonic pattern, right, where price moves from here to A, B, C, and then eventually D. And this is our key point here. We put our stop loss above here, and we start accumulating shorts here. And then we have our three targets: the 618, which is about 115.55, the 1-to-1 extension, which is just below 1500, and then the 1618, which is about 1400. So those are our three targets here, our three immediate ones. So when we got our move down here, I took profit, I compounded my shorts here, I took more profit here, and now I'm simply being patient to see where price leads us, hopefully down to our 1-to-1 extension, and also taking out C here. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. And why I took this short trade, again, typically with this falling wedge pattern, you would want to see price do what? Break out on high volume, back test it, and then have market structure, bullish market structure continuation, right? Instead, what did we get? We got a bunch of doji candles signifying indecision between the bears and the bulls. We had this harmonic pattern, right? And then on top of that, and this is a free website, it's called AgriTrade. On top of that, we saw ETH perpetuals skyrocket. Meanwhile, ETH spot was dipping down. Okay, and you can especially see that deviation on this attempt second leg up right here. Okay, so ultimately, just to briefly run through this, spot buying is what drives demand for an asset. So if you want to see healthy price movement upwards, if price is having bullish market structure and it's having a move up, for that move to be considered healthy, you would want to see that accompanied with spot buying. Okay, not perpetual buying. Perpetual buying should not be driving demand for an asset. Okay, ultimately what it does, in fact, is it sets you up for some degree of a long squeeze and a further move down. So that's sort of what we're seeing here. We saw this huge deviation between the two perpetuals and spot for ETH. A lot, leverage longs were being super aggressive here. Meanwhile, spot buying tailed off, which in my eyes could signify a potential long squeeze for a further move down to get ETH perpetuals and ETH spot back to being, something more aligned like it was over here. Okay. So again, that played out really nicely. Having seen that information, having this bearish harmonic, seeing these doji candles, it gave me the confidence to start taking some shorts in this area here. And hopefully, like I said, we can see a continuation down to this 1-to-1, maybe get a move down, put in some consolidation, and either get our move up or even our move down to our 1618 around 1400, which would align perfectly with the bottom of our wedge and give us another tap there for then maybe our, real and actual breakout to follow up. Okay. So, I'm going to be patient, wait for further move down and look for some degree of a long setup, maybe here or here. Okay. And there is one more thing I did want to touch on that I don't think a lot of people think about when it comes to the merge. So people are really bullish on the merge, which could also explain like all those leverage longs that we're entering in the market here that we just reviewed. One scenario I really want people to consider is that ETH BTC, the ETH BTC ratio could get very bullish on the merge, but not ETH USD, given just the macroeconomic climate. Okay, and so that would look something like this. So imagine that Bitcoin, gets this move down and then gets back up, and it just continues to, generally speaking, consolidate around $20,000. Okay, and then let's say ETH BTC, the merge happens, and we continue bullish market structure, and we get our move up to the infamous 0.1 ratio that everybody's had their eye on for, a very, very long time. I remember when it was a very big deal back here in April and May of 2021. And we put in this kind of this bull flag here, pennant, and then had a deviation from it, and now we're back on top and sort of having some degree of continuation upwards. But what I want to consider is, say we get up here, well, what would that mean ETH would be worth? It would be worth 2,000 USD, right? So that would change the ratio right now, 20,000 to about 1,550 to 20,000 to 2,000, right? And if we look on the actual chart itself, what would that mean that we would be looking at ultimately is essentially, this wedge playing out and possibly putting in, maybe not even putting in a higher high, breaking above this high here, right? Getting a move up, getting to this point here, and then maybe staggering while BTC staggers, but we continue to hold this higher ratio, more towards the more towards the 0.1 ratio between Ethereum and Bitcoin. So it's just something to keep in mind as we move forward here. I know people want to get very, very bullish on this, and I agree. It is, generally speaking, the merge is very bullish for the underlying asset, Ethereum. However, it's worth keeping in mind that maybe we see that rally more so on the ETH BTC ratio than ETH USD.